Okay, so at number 32, I'm going to go Bryan Danielson versus Takeshi Morishima. This is from Final Battle 2008. I mean, the problem with this was I really felt like this could have been a lot more epic if it took place a little bit sooner because Morishima won the GHC Heavyweight Championship, and Pro Wrestling Noah, obviously you don't want to have Morishima do the job, so they never really had a Danielson Morishima blow-off match. It took a while, but it finally happened at Final Battle 2008. By that point, the feud kind of died down. There really wasn't a lot of continuity. It just there was just so much. It was like a year in the making, but a whole year had passed since they touched each other. So, if you weren't a Ring of Honor completist or follow the company that closely, you probably were kind of lost as to why these two guys hate each other so much. But the feud was great, and this is the blow-off match. Danielson took out a chain and tied Morishima up, did a cat mutilation with the chain. I mean, it was a brutal match, featured a lot of blood. It was an awesome blow-off match, and Danielson finally got his revenge on Morishima. So that was Final Battle 2008. Number 31, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Austin Aries. Final countdown towards Chicago. I mean, what can I say? I mean, Danielson and Aries, just another classic between them. Their last match together, and they went out with a bang. So that was from Final Countdown, Chicago. Number 30, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Samoa Joe. This is from Fight of the Century. Went to a 60-minute time limit draw. But, these two guys kept a great pace. Joe looked great in this match. I mean, this had a nice build-up with Danielson turning on Joe at the ROH for CZW Cage of Death match. I mean, with that, I definitely recommend this match to Samoa Joe fans. You get to see him and Danielson go out there for an hour and just bust their ass. So, number 29, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Chris Hero from Pro Wrestling Guerrillas Guerre Sans Frontières from 2009. This is Bryan Danielson's final Pro Wrestling Guerrilla match, his final PWG match. He actually defeated Hero and won the PWG title and forfeited it the same night. Got an emotional send-off, but the actual match is very, very dramatic. They went out there for 45 minutes. Hero was a babyface, but he just switched to a heel in this match because it made sense because Danielson was going to the WWE. Very, very dramatic match, and this is easily PWG's best show of all time, and probably their best match from 2009. So definitely check it out. Number 28, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Go Shiozaki. This is from Ring of Honor's Live in Tokyo show. They finally went out to Japan in the summer of 2007, and this is the best match from that tour, in my opinion. Danielson and Shiozaki put on one of the most underrated matches of 2007. Definitely probably one of the top 10 matches from 2007, in my opinion. This match just rocked. I mean, they just rocked the house with this match. And, Shiozaki was so impressive that they brought him back in Ring of Honor as a regular in 2008. And, awesome match between Danielson and Shiozaki. Number 27, I'm going to go with Danielson versus AJ Styles. This is from Main Event Spectacles from 2003. Severely underrated match. I mean, the great thing about this was it was brutal. It was technical, but it was brutal. Danielson just did a lot of things to AJ that would just make you cringe. They took commentary off. Danielson really showed his personality in this match. He really started jawing with the fans. This one fan kind of got on him about being boring because he was doing a lot of like slow-paced technical wrestling in the beginning. And then Danielson it's just like, what the fuck do you know about wrestling? He's like, what the fuck do you know about wrestling? It was just awesome. So that's where that whole Danielson thing started from. But him and AJ just had a phenomenal match. AJ got the win with the Styles Clash. Probably one of the best matches from 2003 from Main Event Spectacles. Number 26, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Roderick Strong from This Means War. Without a doubt, this is the best ending in Ring of Honor history. This is the first Danielson versus Roderick Strong match for the ROH title. I mean, it was awesome, but the thing that makes this memorable was the finish. It was kind of like a work shoot. You legitimately thought maybe Danielson was pissed off at Roderick for being too stiff or for being a bitch or whatever. So it looked like Danielson just made Roderick tap out to an armbar submission just because he was pissed off with the way the match was going. So and then Danielson started spitting in Roderick Strong's face. And yeah, just seriously an awesome way to end the match. One of the best endings I'd ever seen. And definitely set up their Vendetta match beautifully. So that was from This Means War. Number 25, I'm going to go with Nowhere to Run. Danielson versus Aries in Chicago. Without a doubt. I mean, this is one of the best Aries and Danielson matches. This is different than their other matches. It was pretty short, maybe about 22 minutes, but they went really, really hard. Just a lot of great wrestling here. Aries actually won the match with the 450 splash. So Danielson actually won the right to face Aries because he defeated Homicide in the Best of 5 series. But the thing about this was Danielson lost the match, so he quit Ring of Honor and said, if I can't win the Ring of Honor World Championship, then everything I did in Ring of Honor means nothing. So I quit. So Danielson took the whole summer off, went to Europe, and so that was pretty much it. So Aries retained the belt. So number 24, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. This is from Glory of Honor 8, the Final Countdown. I think this is an awesome match. I wouldn't say it was the best match from 2009. I think the emotional stuff is a little bit overrated. I don't think it was as emotional as some people say it was. And the only reason I say that is because, Bryan Danielson and Gabe Sapolsky were really close from what I understand. And maybe Bryan Danielson had kind of mixed feelings on ROH towards the end of his career. Don't get me wrong, I still think Bryan Danielson wishes ROH to succeed in the future and everything like that. But, maybe there was some bitter feelings with the whole Gabe Sapolsky firing. And then, let's face it, Nigel McGuinness and the Ring of Honor fans have had a love-hate relationship. They never really truly got along. So I just think maybe this wasn't as emotional as some people try to make it out to be. I really think there's been much more emotional matches in Ring of Honor than this. But, still a great aftermath. You get to see, Nigel and Bryan Danielson in their last match. They pretty much combined the best stuff from all their matches into one. So I just thought it made for a great match. And I was there live, and it definitely was one of the best nights of my life, so I'm not complaining about it too much. So, all right, so number 23, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Kenta. This is from Driven, main event of Chicago, and this is on the bonus disc from Driven. This wasn't on the pay-per-view, but this is the third Kenta and Danielson match. They had a match in Pro Wrestling Noah prior to this, but this is great because they were both healthy. Danielson was finally healthy from the shoulder injury. They went pretty hard out there. I mean, it was awesome. If you thought this was better than their first match, I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, they just went out there and rocked the house. But Kenta actually won the match at the Go to Sleep. And so that's pretty much what it was. An excellent, excellent match. And it's pretty underrated as well. Kind of gets lost in the shuffle because they threw it on the bonus disc. Number 22, I'm going to go with Danielson versus Naruki Doi. This is from Dragon Gate USA's Untouchable pay-per-view. Danielson, some people actually thought this was the match of the night. But him and Naruki Doi put on a technical masterpiece. That's pretty much the best way to sum the match up. This is Danielson's first Dragon Gate USA appearance, his only appearance until he was hired by the WWE, and he put on an excellent, excellent show. And Naruki Doi looked awesome here, got the win over Danielson to defend the Dream Gate Championship. Number 21, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson versus AJ Styles. This is from All-Star Extravaganza from 2002. I would say this is probably the best Danielson-AJ Styles match. This had tremendous mat work. They were feeling each other out in the beginning. Just a lot of mat-oriented work. Great technical wrestling, some great high spots. I mean, this pretty much had everything you could ask for. They did some awesome stuff on top of the guardrail as well with the fans involved. So they pretty much did everything here. And AJ Styles actually won the match, won the #1 Contenders Trophy, and eventually got his title shot against Xavier. So this is from way back in 2002. Number 20, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. This is from the 6th anniversary show. Without a doubt, this is probably the best storytelling match that Nigel and Bryan Danielson have had together. They set this match up beautifully. And give Gabe Sapolsky credit if he booked this angle, because I thought this worked awesomely. Nigel came out, pretty much turned heel before the match at the beginning of the show and said he would not wrestle in the main event unless Danielson would agree not to use the elbow blows. And Danielson agreed, so he had to kind of play off of that and come up with different ways and different submissions to kind of make Nigel McGuinness submit. So I just thought it worked beautifully. It was a great storytelling match. The crowd was superly hot for this match. I was there live for it too, and it was a beautiful match. So that was from the 6th anniversary show. Number 19, we're going to go with Danielson versus Davey Richards. This is from the Final Countdown Tour of Boston. Without a doubt, this is the best Bryan Danielson match from the Final Countdown Tour. Danielson and Davey. I believe this is the only time they went at it in Ring of Honor one-on-one. They also had a match at PWG Battle Los Angeles, but this is without a doubt the only match in Ring of Honor, their best match in my opinion. And this is kind of different though. I think a lot of people expected this to be a little bit shorter and more intense. They told a story and it was intense as well. Danielson was actually selling an ankle injury, I believe, through most of the match. There was some suicidal dives by Davey. I mean, it's an awesome match. From Boston, the Final Countdown Tour, without a doubt the best match from that tour in my opinion. So. Number 18, we're going to go with Danielson versus Low-Key. This is from Pro Wrestling Guerrillas All-Star Weekend 6. This is from 2008. I mean, come on, this is an awesome match. Probably Pro Wrestling Guerrillas' greatest match of all time. This opened up the show. Danielson was actually the PWG champion. He didn't know who he was going to face, but surprisingly, Low-Ki came out, and the crowd was going crazy. And another great match from these two guys. These two guys were vicious with each other. Technically, obviously, it was awesome. It was very, very stiff as well. I mean, they just rocked the house, and one of the best matches from 2008 period. So definitely check it out. Low-Ki actually defeated Bryan Danielson to win the PWG title with the Dragon Sleeper.